Just 14 minutes ago, a scene unfolded that left both airport authorities and thousands of onlookers stunned. BTS's Jin and Jimin were suddenly surrounded by an uncontrollable wave of fans, turning what should have been a routine passage through the terminal into a chaotic display of frenzy and desperation. How could two individuals, stepping quietly into an international airport, trigger a disruption so massive that security forces were rendered nearly powerless? And what does this incident reveal about the unstoppable magnetism of BTS members, even when the world believes they are trying to move unnoticed? The sudden eruption of screams shattered the calm atmosphere of the airport the moment Jin and Jimin were spotted. Within seconds, crowds surged forward, pushing barriers, ignoring announcements, and collapsing the fragile order that had been set in place. Witnesses described the air filling with deafening chants of their names, phones raised like floodlights, and human tide pressing closer and closer until emergency staff rushed to intervene. It was not merely a gathering of fans. It was a mass upheaval that seemed to defy every boundary of security protocol. The shocking intensity of the moment raises a chilling question. Was this chaos inevitable, or was it the result of information being leaked that the two idols would pass through that specific terminal? Observers point out that the movement of global stars of BTS's stature is often kept secret to prevent exactly this type of incident. Yet somehow, Jin and Jimin's arrival was met with a crowd so vast it seemed the entire airport had turned into a concert arena. Even journalists and casual passengers who happened to be present could not believe the speed at which the environment spiraled into near panic. Eyewitnesses described Jin wearing a simple mask and cap, hoping to maintain a low profile. Jimin, too, appeared modestly dressed, avoiding any attention-drawing fashion. But anonymity was impossible. The instant recognition of their silhouettes alone sent the crowd surging forward. Fans screamed, some crying uncontrollably, others attempting to push through security lines just to get closer. In those brief yet endless minutes, the terminal became a dangerous arena where emotions overpowered reason. Security staff attempted to form human shields, locking arms to carve out a path for the two singers. Yet the force of thousands of fans pressing inward made even this effort falter. Airport announcements begged for calm, but the words vanished into the roar of the crowd. Some fans stumbled and fell. Others shouted in panic as they were crushed in the push, and still the chanting of Jin, Jimin thundered louder, drowning every attempt at control. Authorities scrambled to close sections of the terminal, rerouting regular passengers to other exits, but the damage had already been done. Chaos had consumed the space. This incident did not occur in isolation. It adds to a growing record of airport disruptions whenever BTS members appear. Yet what makes this particular episode especially alarming is the combination of Jin, fresh from his post-military resurgence, and Jimin, known for his magnetic stage presence. The two arriving together seemed to create a storm of anticipation too powerful for armies to contain. Many speculate that the sight of Jin and Jimin together after months of speculation about group activities amplified the frenzy, leading to an emotional explosion the moment they were recognized. The emotional dimension cannot be ignored. For many armies, Jin's recent public appearances carry heavy symbolic weight. His return marks not only personal resilience, but also the anticipation of BTS's future as a group. Jimin, in turn, embodies a direct connection to the fans with his sensitive, open communication style. Seeing them together in a setting as unplanned as an airport was, for many, overwhelming. The tears, the shouts, the desperate attempts to capture a glimpse on video, all of it painted a portrait of devotion pushed to dangerous extremes. But devotion has a cost. As reports emerge from the scene, concerns about safety are dominating the conversation. How many were injured in the crush? How many fainted under the heat and lack of oxygen in the compressed crowd? And most importantly, how close did Jin and Jimin themselves come to physical harm? Observers noted tense moments where both idols were surrounded so tightly that escape appeared nearly impossible. While security eventually managed to rush them into a restricted passage, the struggle highlighted the vulnerability even global stars face in environments that spin out of control in seconds. It is impossible to ignore the symbolism of this incident. Two of the world's most recognized entertainers reduced to near prisoners of their own fame, unable to walk through an airport without triggering a dangerous collapse of order. The incident illustrates not just the devotion of ARMY, but the risks inherent when passion turns into overwhelming physical force. Fans' loyalty is unquestionable, but at what point does loyalty become a hazard? Both for the artists and for the fans themselves, some witnesses claim that airport staff had already anticipated a heightened crowd and attempted to divert fans to different exits. But the sheer magnitude of numbers made control impossible. Photographs show thousands pressed against glass barriers, their hands raised, their phones capturing blurred flashes of Jin and Jimin's figures as they were escorted quickly across the hall. Others reveal signs of distress, security officers visibly shouting, fans crying as they were pushed back, and uniformed personnel forming emergency corridors to prevent total collapse. The emotional aftermath is already evident online. Clips of the scene are spreading at lightning speed, igniting shockwaves across global social media. ARMY communities are torn between awe at the power of collective devotion and fear that this kind of chaos could bring irreversible consequences. Questions are being asked. Should BTS members ever appear in public airports again without full lockdown procedures? Can fan devotion coexist with basic safety when the numbers are this overwhelming? And what lessons can global fandom culture learn from this shocking episode? For Jin and Jimin, the personal impact remains hidden behind the silence they maintained throughout the ordeal. Neither was seen speaking to the crowd. Neither reacted outwardly to the deafening noise. Instead, their silence itself became a striking statement, an image of professionalism under extreme pressure, of enduring the unstoppable tide of attention with stoic calm. Yet for those who witnessed closely, their hurried pace, their lowered gaze, and the tense atmosphere around them revealed the immense toll of navigating fame at such perilous intensity. This is not simply a celebrity sighting. It is a moment that underlines how BTS, despite their global influence, remain caught in a paradox, celebrated as icons yet stripped of the basic ability to move freely in public. The airport chaos involving Jin and Jimin is not just an isolated incident. It is a case study in the power and peril of mass fandom in the 21st century. For the fans, it was a moment of electrifying closeness. For the authorities, it was a breakdown of control. For Jin and Jimin, it was an ordeal they had no choice but to endure. The lingering question remains: if chaos of this scale can erupt from a single sighting, what measures will be necessary the next time? Will security walls grow higher? Will movement become even more secretive? And will fans ever accept that boundaries must exist? The airport, once a neutral place of transit, has become a battlefield between devotion and order. And tonight, that battlefield left scars, emotional, physical, and symbolic, that will not fade quickly. What began just 14 minutes ago as the routine arrival of two men ended as a defining moment of chaos, spectacle, and uneasy reflection. The shockwaves of this event will ripple far beyond the airport walls, leaving one question echoing in the minds of millions. If Jin and Jimin cannot walk freely without sparking near collapse, what does that say about the world we live in and the unstoppable force of BTS's legacy?